Welcome to another episode of Steele Speaking. I'm your host, Brother Corey. Uh, Today, just want to sit back and talk to you, share a couple of keys to being successful. There's many products out there. There's many things. There's so many self-help books. But today, I just want to give you what FCA calls the heart of leading self. The heart of leading self. Regardless of where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, if you don't know how to lead self, wherever you end up can be challenging. Whoever you're serving can really have a difficult time. So I just want to sit back, talk to you for a few, and just share a couple of things that I've learned on my journey. One of my things is I've been leading men since the age of 17. Right out of high school, I joined the Marines, graduated platoon honorman, and received meritorious promotions and advancements while I was in the military. And regardless of where I end up, I find myself becoming a leader of men, supervising, a manager. And a lot of that journey really wasn't something that I sought out at. I didn't see myself becoming anything in those positions. It's just when I got in, I just jumped in and served, just began serving. The greatest title for me is servant. People say that, but do they really mean it? Your actions does say a whole lot about who you are. Your decisions also shares what your character is, the decision making. Your decision making is important. And we take some of those things for granted. If you're going to serve, but be all in. Do it 100%. And most of the time we don't. We stay reserved. And even worse, we let people affect our serving. It really affected. For instance, someone come in and they have a bad attitude. So their attitude creates a bad attitude for you. Now, how does that work? That don't make sense to me. You be you, regardless of who's around. You lock in on your responsibility and you will see success. You can be successful in anything as long as you're consistent at it at a high level, or at least meet the standard. Some of us don't even have standards. So I got an acronym called the heart of leading self that I want to share with you all. The heart of leading self. H. H is for hungry. Be hungry for wisdom. There's no doubt with today's culture, the cellular phone, the electronic devices, man, we can obtain information from all over. There's a whole bunch of data out there. We're willing to learn a whole lot. You got a tutorial on any and everything. You can YouTube it, Google it, whatever the case may be. But the thing is, just because you have the knowledge doesn't mean you have the experience. And see, that's where wisdom come in at. From those that done experience life, done put a lot of that knowledge to use, the stuff that the information don't tell you. What are some of those moving variables? See, you can say you know how to drive because you played it on a video game or you read a book, but do you really know how to drive? Do you know how to drive when it's storming and raining? Do you know how to drive in the snow on mountains? There's so much more to drive in. It ain't just about what you see and what you read, but what you experience. Experience is important. And those that can experience a lot have a lot to share. So for those that think they know everything, there's always something to learn. It can go deeper than what you know. In other words, you can pull back the layers. Yeah, you know some stuff. You do. You know a whole lot. How well do you understand it? That's the key. Getting a better understanding. So H is be hungry for wisdom. That's important because even though you know it, you can understand it better. You can learn it better. There's maybe a different technique or an improved way to apply it. So be hungry for wisdom. The next thing is expect the best. Expect the best. Our biggest hater is ourselves. We let things play out in our head. We come up with our own conclusion. We are our biggest hater. The main reason you don't do something is because of fear, low expectations, worried about what somebody gonna say or how people gonna react. We don't expect the best. And if you're gonna be successful, you wanna achieve your goal, you gotta expect the best. Know that all things are possible. You gotta apply yourself. But if you don't expect the best, how you expect others to expect the best? You tripping off of somebody hating and you hating on yourself. You doubting your ability, even though you done prepared, you done trained, you done studied. And here's the crazy part. You done it before. How many still fear the thing that they done before? And yet you refuse to expect the best. Sometimes we got to just get out our own way. So you really want the heart to leading self, to being successful, be hungry for wisdom. Expect the best. And the next one, accept. Accept responsibility. Now, most people hear this here and they say, oh, there we go. And we look at that statement as a negative statement instead of an opportunity. See, when you accept responsibility, you get to demonstrate your value. You get to show your worth. When you're there accepting responsibility, you're solving problems, not creating them. You're becoming a solution. See, that adds value to the company. That shows your worth. Young people say they chasing the bag. Even grown people saying they chase the bag. How you going to chase something that's designed to chase after you? See, when you demonstrate your value, when you accept responsibility, you demonstrate you're worthy of it. And those that value you will demonstrate that value. But we often want the bag up front. We want to demonstrate, we want to be recognized, and yet we don't want to perform. When you accept responsibility, you take on others that help improve others. See, you add value when you accept responsibility. That's so important. We can point fingers all day. We can blame this one. We can blame that one. We can talk about problems and issues all day long. It doesn't get the job done. In fact, it slows it down. But when you accept responsibility and you take on that challenge, you get to show who you are. You get to you get to demonstrate the layers within. Yeah, I like that one for myself, You get to see the layers within. So accept responsibility. You become a problem solver in your organization. You become that solution, that person with solutions. Why? Because you're able to pick up that mantle, regardless of who it is or who done it. And you create opportunities for growth, for advancement. The next one is respond, or respond. This is one of those things that kind of lay low below the radar. My my pastor says it like this here. Our response is our responsibility. How you choose to respond will either open up doors or close doors. How you choose to respond will either draw support or turn away support. When you respond with care, you draw people. When you care about your response, you draw support. When you're reckless with your response, you can turn some people away. And if you don't know how to lead self, you don't know the value of your response, then you be losing the thing that you want the most. See, your facial expression means something. Your body language means something. You know, your tone of voice means something. How you respond, especially in a crisis. See, it's all fine and dandy when things are going good. But when all hell is breaking loose, when that pressure is applied, how do you respond under pressure? You know, many like to say pressure busts pipes. Nah, I say pressure reveals. See, pressure reveals what's on the inside. If you built tough, the pressure won't affect you. But if you fragile in certain areas, pressure gonna reveal where you're fragile at. It's gonna show that response. You wanna know a person's character? Monitor them under pressure. What words they using? How's their language under pressure? How's their decision making under pressure? See, we take pressure for a bad thing. Pressure is that test that say, are you truly built for this? See, some of us want roles and responsibilities where we don't know how to deal with. We don't know how to respond to. We want titles. We want opportunities that we're not prepared for. And the reason we not prepared for it because we can't handle the pressure. See, knowing how to respond, knowing what to do in a crisis is so important. That's where you get to look at some of your greatness take place. It's easy to identify those greatness, especially you use the example as sports. Think about sports for a minute. You know, you have a lot of great athletes, real good athletes in the NFL, at the college level, and even high school. But what stands out the most? How well they handle themselves under pressure. See, you don't get that title of stardom or greatness under regular circumstances. You know, it's when that clock is ticking down. Can the team turn to you? You know, if you're the quarterback, are you cool in the 2-minute drill and you're behind? Are you that shot maker? You that player on the court? Can you deliver the shot? Can you make the shot with the clock ticking down and you're behind by 1 or 2 points? See, that's where you discover greatness. How you respond under pressure. How you carry yourself. That's where the character is shown and demonstrated. That's where the value is really truly revealed, tell you the truth. But your response is what's going to either draw people or push people away. And the last one is T. T. Think of others. Think of others. It's important when you don't just think of self, but when you think of others. You value those around you. You consider those around you. That's where you're able to draw. appreciation, love, support. Thinking of others allow you to break the selfishness in your environment. When you think outside of the box, it allows you to break the tunnel vision of selfishness. When you think of others, others think of you. See, if you're in support of others, then it's easy for someone to come and support you, get behind you. Now, not everybody fall in this category, but when you're consistent at thinking of others, it's easy to have the support, especially during tough times, especially when you need a team to rise to the occasion. And that's what it's all about, leading self. That's the key to success. That's the key to great leadership. When you learn how to lead self, just using those basics, man, you become a force to be reckoned with. Like for real, for real. You become a leader of men. In fact, you'll be able to dominate just with that basic framework, the heart of leading self. When you learn how to lead self, you can lead others and you can lead a team. Hungry for wisdom, man, you can't beat learning more about what you know. Expect the best. We're our biggest hater. We should be our biggest cheerleader. Expect the best. Accept responsibility. That's where you add value. You add value to your environment when you accept responsibility. And knowing how to respond. Your response is your responsibility. Your response can draw support or turn away support. And thinking of others. When you think of others, others will think of you. And all that takes place when you learn how to renew your mind. See, Romans 12:2 talks about that. Don't be conformed to this world. Don't just do it the way the world do it. Transform your mind. Renew your mind daily. How does God want you to respond? How are you leading yourself spiritually? See, we overlook that part. We want to outthink a thing. Well, before you can outthink, you need to renew. Get a fresh start. Today is a new day. Yesterday is long gone. Tomorrow is not here. But today got a wonderful adventure for you. But if you bring in yesterday's trash to today, it's going to be a stanky day. But if you renew your mind, some fresh thoughts, a fresh attitude, a different perspective, and then you have the heart of leading self, where you hungry for wisdom today. You expect the best today. You willing to accept responsibility today. Hey, you conscious about your response today. And today you will think of others. Man, you will be successful. You got to do that consistently. But it begins with renewing your mind. Having your spirit in the right place. See, sometimes our thinking gets stuck because our spirit is in a bad place. How are you leading yourself spiritually? We talk about mental health issues, but do you know spiritual wellness is the beginning of mental wellness? See, it's through your spirit that you're able to overcome some of the things that you're thinking, overcome some of those feelings that you're having. Where are you spiritually? Where are you spiritually? How you lead self spiritually is the first step to success. then renewing your mind daily is the second step. I'm just sharing a couple of keys to success. In this journey, I've seen many highs, many lows, but what's been consistent is my servitude, being able to serve at any level at any time, whether it's one person or 1,000. Leading people, serving people, supporting one another has been a true, tremendous joy. I thank y'all for listening. I enjoy serving you today. And as always, hey, my job is to engage, equip, and empower today's leader for tomorrow's journey. It's just still speaking. God bless.